All right, I'm joined here today by Sean Smith. It's been a while since we obviously had a catch-up, so it's nice to be back here at your gym. What's been happening? Because it's been a quiet year for most trainers and managers. How do you feel 2023 has gone for you?
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on the show again and for the great work you do. Really appreciate it. I wish you could chat more if there was more happening, but yeah, it was a really bad year, and then obviously had a good showing with some of my newcomers, my prospects. Thank you to Zaba Promotions for actually delivering on that side of the fence. So it's important, and I think for me, you sort of identify that, with my older, more mature guys, that once you get to a certain level, things can get very tricky because we don't have the local support yet to keep guys like Tulani and Tabiso in the mix. So difficult one, but I think we never stop trying. I think the sport's going to continue and grow, and it's going to have stages where it stagnates. But I think importantly for us that we never lose hope. We keep the guys going, and yeah, so hoping for like a better 24. I know it'll be better, but yeah, like I said, we never stop developing, unearthing new talent. That's what we've got to do. And then obviously bridging the gap between the guys who are on an international level to the guys that are just starting out. So that's for us, and hopefully this year we can get a little bit more traction going in between that.
Right, I wanted to ask you, because there's a big generational gap between your current stars, your Tulanis, your Sonjikas, your Mchunus, and then you've got your new crop of guys that are coming through. I mean, that must be, although not as highlight reel, but it must be nice to at least bring new talent through the ranks.
Yeah, I think that's important for us because we can't just stay where we were, living on the guys like Tabiso and them who are heading down like the final stretch of their careers. Far from over, but I think, we don't only want to be limited to getting international invites and going overseas. I think it's important for us here to look for and give the guys like a new opportunity, like the future stars of the game. So, I try and limit dealing with guys who are just wannabes. I think they've proven themselves. Tisetso Matatinka was a gold medalist at the Africa Games. Linda Kuzwayo also proved himself, won a few national titles. So guys who have proved themselves that they really got some legs in the game. You don't want to spend this time with guys, hopeful wannabe boxers, guys that can really keep them on this level where they can stand out and shine, and then hopefully look forward to delivering on an international stage. I think that's important.
You've always been good at that, because I mean, if we're looking at your world stars as well, like Tulani, former bronze medalist at the Commonwealth Games, Tabiso Mchunu is also a well-accomplished amateur, and so is Sonjika. What's the formula to getting the guys that are wanting to join the gym, that are highly rated amateurs?
Yeah, you know what? I always look at a guy's potential. What has he done in amateur? Because I know when you jump on a plane and you go overseas, it's a whole new ballgame. So you don't want to reach a stage where as they go overseas they cannot perform. That's the ultimate goal. I believe in that the pedigree. You need to bring something like the pedigree to the game. What's like the pedigree you're dealing with and how far you can go. And obviously the goal is to be an elite world athlete. And then also more than that, you look at the character of the athlete. That's probably also equally important for me. I mean, maybe a criticism, not a good thing. And I pride myself in my team. You look at guys like Tulani, Tabiso, JJ, they've stuck it out with me. Everyone, as soon as things aren't going your way, or you believe you're the next world superstar, you're going to jump around to gym to gym. You're going to find a pad holder who says, yes, you're the best, and what I'm saying? I deliver for my guys the best I can. I think this whole year I've never missed a workout. I've never missed being here, So I'm there for my guys 100%. I respect their loyalty, and like I said, I go all out, help them the best I can. So I have to be careful because I'm limited with resources, time. Also, when you bring guys into the gym who are there to look, see, and move, upsets like the rhythm. So you try and stick to like the family network. Try and stick to like your knitting. And like I said, it's important that people you bring in are going to add value to the gym, as far as support, charisma, character. And obviously Ronald Malindi was a very sad loss for us, because he was, like a pioneer, true pioneer. I mean, he jumped maybe once and he came here, and you know what, so respectful. And he knew, even though there were times where I could have said, let's fight. I said, no, I'm not going to fight under those circumstances. So it's important for me that the guys I bring in under my wing trust what I'm doing. They believe in the process, and they can realize the nature of the sport. It's cruel. You can be a good fighter, which obviously leads to your guy being avoided a lot of the time. So that's also the issue. If your guy is good enough to pose a threat to another international, they'll rather go another route. I mean, so I can tell you stories this year that you wouldn't just believe. I mean, I got a call for Tulani Mbenge to fight Boots Ennis now in December. It was on. We got we had the visas, we had everything in place, talking to his promoter. And I said, okay, let's go. Obviously, that's good money. And like, you don't always have to knock him out. If you arrive and you do well, who knows what can happen. So that fell through. So Boots Ennis, they declined it because obviously I thought he's going to go straight to mandatory position. So, so he was awarded like the title. But you look at a lot of the big guys out there, they don't just fight guys who can give them a tough fight. They're fighting guys who bring the money to the table. So that's, that's like another issue, guys who they know can give them a hard fight, but not can give them the money they want. That's why you see the likes of Conor, Ben, Boots Ennis, they all want to fight superstars. But, they're going to run out of superstars to fight because not everyone's going to meet the criteria for them. And then, Tools was meant to fight in the UK last week, the boxer against McKinson.
Yeah.
That was 3 weeks' notice. I went and got my visa. Tools got a visa, paid big money. Obviously, like, they reimbursed us, but like another thing, 3 weeks out, and we don't have enough rounds, and it's a chamber, and then it's like, so the calls are there. Tools sitting for a year out, and luckily I'm well connected in like the boxing scene. Like I talk to the top guys, I talk to the WBC, which they retained the ratings for Mchunu after 2 years being inactive. But like I said, Mchunu, the fight fell through with Jack. The Kovalov fight fell through. You know what I'm saying? So I've secured his rating. I'm looking to get him out in March. We're like discussing things now. I'll try and get him and Tulani out in March locally, so that'll be a nice outing. Because the issue is, you're sitting with guys and then you get calls for overseas to come to fight your guys on tournaments for hardly any money against top fighters. So am I prepared to sell my guys out? No. So that's the key. Do you sell your boxer out to stay busy and give them what they want, or do you try to stick to your guns? And I believe that's why I just try and keep my guys in the gym. They don't always like me, but that's fine. You got to be, when you get on the plane, you got to believe you can win, and the deal's got to be right. The opportunities we're always looking for, but I'm prepared to take the risk. Like the Conor Benns of the world, the Boots Ennis. I believe Tulani Mbenge can do very well. If he's in the right frame of mind, he can beat anyone.
And the other guy that's missing in the occasion is, or who I haven't seen much of, is Sonjika as well. JJ, is he still around? Is he boxing? Is he gonna fight again?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, like I said, the boxers have got to know that if they do step out and they make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. But like you saw with Tabiso, those little almost getting over the line in a, it can have huge impact of your next year leading. So I just try and make sure that whatever happens in the ring, like we gave it our best, and then you can deal with the good or bad afterwards. So Sonjika will be back. I'll try and get him out as soon as we can. Sonjika, JJ's good. He's good. I think he's still got a lot to offer. Like I see him in the gym, he's staying busy. So he's quite excited to get back, and I think his division's also stacked here locally. But like I said, yeah, definitely. Get him in the winner's circle again, get him active again, and then you know what, going overseas to make some money, if the deal's right, I think that's the way to go for him. He's not young, but you know what, young doesn't always mean everything. He's young enough to still have a proper go at like the next stage of his career.
I want to go back to a point that you talked about. Rest in peace to Ronald Malindi as well. The team morale around the time when that incident occurred, where he was hospitalized and then unfortunately, didn't make it. What was the feeling like in the camp?
Yeah, it was just awful, just mind-blowing, because you hang in there as a team and you stick together and you believe that like you live the dream. The sport of boxing gives us a bit of hope, but like the same time I'm a little bit, you get a bit angry with the sport of boxing, because sometimes the sport itself or the people in the sport don't deliver. So guys start to find ways, hanging around the wrong people to stay alive. We get mixed. We should be in the gym day and night, and hadn't seen him for 1 or 2 weeks, and then he came by that same day and just was laughing in the gym, had some good laughs with him, and his vibe was great. And just very sad. He was a great asset to the gym. Like I say, there's the old school guys who have been through it, amateurs, unspoiled. I think that's a thing I'm seeing a lot of lately, is Instagram spoiled athletes, where the old days, you get guys who have been through the amateurs, there was no videos of them, there was no nothing on them. They knew what it was like to go to a gym and work, not always for an Instagram reel. You see guys, and he was one of those guys. He could spar anyone. He was able to give to the team. My new youngsters, spar them, cheeky with them, mold them in a way, play with them, taunt them a little bit. You need a guy like him, and it was sad. It was very sad, because I look around, I think he was a true fighter, and he was, like I said, his spirit of song and dance, and he was loud and awesome to have around. So that day he was, it was awful.
Yeah, and obviously, also he was an undefeated boxer as well, so he had the whole world in front of him, and he could have just done just about anything in the sport as well.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's important for me that when I get a boxer, not to just take a fight and say, oh yes, we've got a fight. I need to navigate things right. That's why I had to pull out the fight with him going to East London Rumble, because they took JJ off, which I thought was unfair. Then they wanted to cut the purse, but they were still there, and I said, okay, do you have a spare room for my corner? They said, no, we don't. I said, guys, it's my boxers. I need to represent my boxer right. So if I can't do my job right, I cannot put him at that risk, which is sad in a way, because sometimes you have regrets. But one thing about Ronald, he was always in agreement. I would hear him out, whatever, but ultimately if I said this, he would say, okay coach, you're right. But very sad that we lose warriors like that, because I think of the sport not allowing these guys to stay busy, stay focused. But like I said, he had an amazing spirit. I would see him before the fight. He was in an accident. I said, I'm going to pull you out. He said, no, you're not. He would spar limping in the ring. I said, if you don't show me something today, you're out. Yes, his leg came right. Then he had a car accident. Then I would drive up the road. I'd see him limping, hopping off, walking to the gym, limping. That's the spirit you need. So very sad. and just hope you can breathe some more life into like the sport of boxing, that these guys don't have to drift off and be in situations they don't need to be in.
All right. So we spoke about this year, moving into 2024. Obviously, there's been a new board appointed for now. There's a little bit of optimism in the air in terms of like the boxing community that they think that maybe we'll have better years to come. What's your take on the new board and basically the next year coming up?
To be honest, I sort of keep my nose out of that side of things. I just maybe it's a good and bad thing, but I believe that I need to do what I need to do. I need to concentrate on what I need to do and respect like the powers that be. You know what I'm saying? I need to trust like the BSA that it'll sort itself out. Obviously, you need to stand up and speak and represent, but I don't feel I'm in a position enough to start shooting people down on social media, criticizing the board. I believe that ultimately things will work out for like the better, and I think if there was any mishandling or whatever, you'll slowly see things start to sort themselves out or weed out any things that needed to be sorted out. So I'm in hope of saying that things will work out for the best for boxing. I think where they're going to find, from a financial perspective, where they're going to find the support. From a TV perspective, is SABC looks like they're trying to step up where they're going to find the support. So even though you might change the board and it's all whatever, is it going to change the situation? Things might be conducted a little bit more like above board. Things might be a little bit smoother operating, but ultimately, financially, is the board going to get more help? And will things be run better? That you got to ask yourself. So you tell me.
Well, I think for at least the beginning part, there's always optimism whenever there's an election of some sort and a new person comes in. There's always like that that hope that this person will change. There's always a moment when you're looking back at the old board and you think about all the things that weren't done, and so there can only be an upwards trajectory from here on. So we'll have to see. But again, the jury is out. I mean, the new board will have to still prove themselves in that way.
Yeah, like I said, everyone's excited for change until there's time to make the change. Like I said, I looked at the new board. Obviously, people we know and we like, but do they have the help and support to deliver the change? We'll see. So, but let's hope. From a side of the licensing perspective, a little bit more support, I think a little bit more leeway. People want to put on tournaments. Why the red tape? Why stop people from bringing hope and life into the sport? I think it needs to be supported. The regulator is important, but I think support. Whether I say leeway, I just think people need to want to see growth. It's easy to say, like, I think maybe the old board were, if it didn't make sense, cut it, not good, but that doesn't help anyone. So I think we need a little bit more unity in boxing. I think we need to stand together. I think we need to support each other and sit down and say, what is right for the sport of boxing? How can we all step up and deliver together? I think that's the most important. So like I said, I'm not too caught up in who's bad or who's not bad or who's great and who's good. I like to stick to what I do. I need to deliver on my side. I got to train champions. I got my responsibilities. I got to look after, navigate and do things the best I can. And until, I can't complain about what's going on around me if I don't know enough. You know what I'm saying? And I choose not to know too much what's going on. But I just hope that the new board will be more supportive of the sport of boxing, looking after boxers, allowing new promoters to come out, not to red tape, red flag, because what are you doing? And then you're so regulated. But on the other side, they do, if it's not working, then on their side it's all wrong. So you can't able to fix the mistakes trying to implement regulations when everything's wrong right from the top. So I'm just hoping for better. And I think we can do it as a sport of boxing.
And just in terms of the actual boxers, being as one of the top South African managers as well, you've got international connections all over the world. We've seen that with a lot of the fights. Tabiso's fought abroad, Tulani's fought abroad. We've seen that happening. Those international fights that'll happen, you flagged March as a potential date that you're going to get things going. Do you foresee that next year the likes of Mchunu and Mbenge will be busy abroad?
Yes, they will be. They have to. But like I said to you, the big problem for me with Tabiso was Russia. How did I know there was going to be a world war? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Russia was good to me, and they enjoyed Tabiso.
Right.
And I still got an offer to go to Russia now, like for Feb. It was a Super 8 tournament, and there was small, medium, big, and very big money. But I see Tashenko was going to be in there. There were going to be 8 names. Dorikas was going to be in there. I had to pull out. For the reason is, you go to Russia, the WBC, like they said, we supported South Africa in apartheid. We will not support Russia going forward. So then I'm saying to myself, okay, I go there because we need to be busy. We need to stay active. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bit of a conflict of interest.
No, it's a conflict of interest, and Tabiso wants to be world champion, the WBC world champion. So as soon as I go to Russia, I jeopardize my standing with them. And thankfully that they respected him. He's rated number 3. We can maybe get a fight soon. But, you know, like I said, I would like to interview with you more often, but imagine I announced the Boots Ennis fight. Imagine I announced the McKinson fight in December. Imagine I announced the Super 8 fight. You know, like I said, I just need to get... Actually, I had an offer for Tabiso to go to Australia, and then they said, oh, no. And then I had Tabiso to fight... what's his name? He moved up to cruiserweight. Alberto Ramirez.
Okay, yes.
And then, oh, no, he's a southpaw. I'm like, oh, jeez, are you joking? So like I said, no excuses. But you can see, like, the nature of the sport. So it's either I'll wait for the right fights, good fights, or try and make something happen locally. Otherwise, the deal needs to be right. Because, you know, like, I can't sell my boxers out. I love them too much. I respect them too much. I respect myself too much to say I'm just going to take a 2-week fight out in the ABR or the ARB amateur series for $10,000. I've had all those offers. And then it's easy also to say, oh, we're going to get like a manager overseas. No one cares. No one cares about, you know, you ultimately. Everyone's just looking like to make a buck. So I believe in myself enough to like deliver the best for my boxers. And also I let them understand that when you're in the sport, if you're not in it to be the best, rather do something else, because it's tough, it's brutal, and it doesn't care about anyone. Got to take care of business.
Yeah, it's a really tough sport, and boxing's just always going to be that way. It's just the nature of the beast. Is there anything new coming up next year in terms of new signings, new boxers, anything different that's going to happen next year?
No, like I said, I've signed two new boys. I'll always look to sign someone who I think's got the character, who's got the talent, got the potential, and the pedigree to do something. Because the worst thing is that you sign people and you can't do nothing with them. Then you're going to get the sad boxer who's going to ruin an environment for everyone. So I'm very cautious into what I'm doing. And like I said, Zalba Promotions did something very good for my boys. Both got 3 outings this year. Lindo got 2. And you know what I'm saying? They're looking to start up with them. Feb, maybe March, we'll have something else for them. So yeah, pretty happy with that. But like I said, I need to know that I'm signing someone that I can keep active, that's going to inspire me to be a better coach, and I can inspire them to be great. But yeah, to be like the best in what you do, it's not a numbers game. It's not a numbers game. You can have a gym full of people, but then it makes you feel obliged. There's bills to be paid. There's support to be had. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, look for the right signings. Looking for guys who can go all the way in the sport. And like I said, I will get Tulani Mbenge active. I will get Mchunu active. I think he's ready now. I can see him itching, which is good. And if things go well, I think 2024 could have some some exciting news. I hope we've got more exciting stuff for you coming. A lot.
Yeah, I was hoping though, because we don't get to chat a lot, and we don't get to catch up a lot on interviews. Obviously, there are a lot of breakages. I mean, we started from COVID, and sort of on from that point, it's been a really difficult time, you know. So, but let's see, 2024. I hope to see you more.
Yeah, I know this year I'm gonna have a lot of exciting news for you, some breakthroughs, some announcements soon, and I'd just like to give a shout out to my sponsors. These guys deserve the accolade because they keep us going through the tough times that allow us to gear up for next year. So to Sizanani Plastics, to Blue Label, the Scribanti Group, to One Plan Household Insurance, and a nice new sponsor, Johnny's Liquor. You guys have stepped up and delivered, backed us, and that's all we want to do. Give you guys great fights and build the next generation in boxing. Thanks for the work you do. There's a boxing talk, a lot of hard work, and you deserve your reward too.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Sean.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in the new year. Merry Christmas, everyone. Be safe.